Hello, gentlemen. Are we ready to settle this debate once and for all?
Yeah, Barack, my man, let's go sort this out. Jill says I can get cookies if I go to bed before 10.
All right, let's hear your garbage takes.
I suggest we do this chronologically, starting with their first released EP, Vulfpeck.
Easy S tier. They just came onto the scene with this tremendous, ultra-compressed, minimalistic sound, all instrumental tracks, only 4 guys. This established the core Vulfpeck elements, which makes this album so good, and which also might be the reason that later albums which don't sound this way are worse.
It's too noisy.
What the fuck did you just say, you sleepy bitch?
Donald, calm down.
The tracks are too compressed. I agree that it establishes their vibe pretty well, but I just think their cleaner sound suited them better on their following albums, Jack said in a Facebook live stream that he used extra overdrive on Joe's bass on. It gets funkier.
I don't care what low-volume magic they were working, the tracks slap, and that's a fact, you senile fuck.
I agree with Joe. It's good, but not as polished as some of the others. And also Cars 2 is fucking weird. I think it's an A-tier release.
Yeah, all right, let's move on.
Vulmilch. I still don't get the pronunciations right.
I like outro. It sounds like an old TV show theme.
Really, that's all you have to say about this? Goddamn, Joe, do you even listen to your takes?
Hey, I wasn't finished, Donald. The lineup on this is truly perfect. Katzman on the drums, easily better than Jack and Woody on keys almost every track. To me, this is the best lineup they have, with Joey blessing the tracks with his sax playing. Sure, Antoine and Corey add much when they feature, but this just feels so classic to me. Also, the cover art is from one of the music videos. Looks fucking epic, A-tier.
Nice speech. Didn't think you would make it without falling asleep. But actually, based take, Barack, I can see this. What about you?
I don't have a strong opinion about it. I like it, but it's not one of my favorites. If you two can agree, then I'm happy about it.
Gay.
Shut the fuck up, orange cunt. Next up, my first car. Now, this album opens with an absolute banger of a track. Antoine's introduction to the Vulf cosmos, and one of my favorites in general. But after that, the tracks to me at least don't really work that well. They're not their most memorable, and yeah, I just don't see it any higher than B.
What bullshit. This has got to be as good as Vol Milk. Wait for the Moment is a goddamn classic. It's one of the greatest, one of the best songs that they have ever released. And they take chances again. Cool Milk is a dark, wild track in comparison to most of their newly released stuff. I can't believe it.
Yeah. Donald, it's okay, but kind of mid. I say B tier as well.
Fuck you two cocksucking idiots. This list is fucked.
So what about Fugue State now?
I got to keep it real here. I don't know what to say. Fugue State, 1612, and Christmas in L.A. are killer. But the other 3, I like them, but I also don't want to say that it's a really great album. I'd say A tier as well.
Yeah, probably works. It's the end of an era to me. After this, the shows got bigger, more people featured, less instrumentals. They became more real as opposed to an internet thing. I think it's a bit nostalgic for me, and I could see it in S, but a tier is okay.
I just think it's one of the albums where each member has got their spot to shine. Joe on Sky Mall, Antoine on 1612, Woody on Fugue State with his goddamn back-type fugue beat, and Theo and Jack always do through their rhythm work. I just like it a lot, actually.
Whatever.
Yeah, I don't care. Next.
Fuck you. Next up is their first LP. Thrill of the Arts. I actually got that one on vinyl.
I don't care about your shit, Barack. I just want to say that this one is S tier. There's so much classic Vulf in this, with Outrow being featured in the opening track and all the other great instrumental tracks, but also very fresh-sounding tracks with Charles Jones featuring, and also Back Pocket, Christmas, and Funky Duck, 3 absolute live staples. Fucking slaps on God for real.
I always fall asleep during guided smile meditation. Shit is boring as fuck.
God damn it, Joe. If you don't stop it with these garbage-ass takes, I'm going to quit doing this with you too.
Nah, I mean, it's all right. I just don't see why it's that special.
Joe, I'm going to have to agree with Donald here. Thrill of the Arts is legendary, such a great compilation of songs. And with this, they also appealed to a more mainstream audience, which to me isn't really a bad thing. They just developed their sound even further and perfected it. It just works. Next up, Jack's Soccer Kid phase, The Beautiful Game.
S tier.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, that was easy. I definitely agree. Dean Town and Animal Spirits alone sell this album for me. This might be peak Vulf.
Oh, it definitely is. Just think about what comes next.
Yeah, okay, let's get this over with. I don't think Mr. Finish Line was that bad, honestly. Their sound at first might not seem like true Vulf, but the more I listen to it, the more I come back to it. The instrumentals are fucking tight. Tea Time and Hero Town to me are some of their best, I gotta say. Very piano heavy. Also, they took certain chances, and their non-instrumentals are so catchy, I'm not even lying. The recycling of the back pocket solo is also one of Jack's most genius ideas to date. Flows so well. I'd give it an A or B tier, to be honest.
Now listen to that shit, goddamn Barack. I can't let that slide. This is just so far off from the college band garage funk I learned to love. If you want to have that sound, then go listen to some indie pop shit, but not Vulfpeck. Sure, some of it slaps, and Birds of a Feather is really cute, but Captain Hook and the cheesy performances on the other tracks just make this actually not good. I don't like it. And I can't put it any other way than C. This can't sit with Fugue State on God.
Yeah, Barack, Donald is right. It just doesn't feel right.
Okay, whatever. I knew you were going to hate on it. What about Hill Climber?
I liked it a lot, actually. The instrumentals felt classic. The sound is clean yet compressed. And the songs with vocals are great. I mean, come on, Darwin Derby, Lonely Town, and the cover of Theo's song with Monica Martin also. The decision to split the vinyl into side A with vocals and side B without vocals is genius. For me, it is a tier. The songs are not as memorable or catchy maybe, but still good.
I don't know, Donald. To me, it feels like they tried to catch what they lost at Mr. Finish Line and didn't quite manage to. That spark, that vibe, whatever you want to call it. To me, it didn't really feel like Vulf, at least not the whole album. Sure, I love Theo's vocal performances and also songs like Soft Parade with the classic whirly lineup, but I just can't feel it. Also, it gets funkier. 4 to me is their weakest. I know what you mean when you say the sound is clean but compressed. In the earlier days, it felt cleanly played and recorded, but the mix was sometimes a bit gritty with noise and heavy compression. I liked that. Sometimes it was also just very clean, but now it seems like it's a bit of both in every mix, compressed but also very much high-end, and I don't know how to describe it.
Joe, you're hallucinating again, you old fuck.
Shut the fuck up. I know what I'm saying here. I like it, but to me it's definitely not higher than B tier. Lewis Cole is great, but to me it just doesn't work and feels different than the first 3. I just now noticed that for 3 consecutive EP releases, every EP had a new It Gets Funkier.
You notice that now for the first time? God damn, you really are sleepy as fuck, Joe. But I agree, B tier it is.
I'll take Obama, I'll take...
Shut up, Donald. Next up is The Joy of Music.
What about live at MSG?
I'm only doing studio albums. I told you that before. I just don't like it. Actually, sure, it was great that the old stuff got onto Spotify again. But you have 4 tracks that have been released years ago, 1 track that they just sold, which I never liked to begin with, and then 5 okay tracks. So, no, I just put that in C tier, to be honest.
Yeah, I see that. It just has this vibe to it that they wanted to release something, but with the pandemic and everything else, they just didn't really manage to get enough good new tracks, although Radio Shack slaps.
Wong's Cafe version is even better.
Yeah, you might have a point there. I think we can agree on C tier. It's just not that memorable. Maybe their lowest point.
Now all that is left is the new Wim Hof-based Schwitz. I didn't think they would actually drop an album in 2022, but I'm glad as hell that they're still going strong, touring and taking time. I love Theo's solo project, but Vulf breaking apart would be a very sad sight to see, also considering they really didn't tour outside the U.S. since 2018, and there are many fans who didn't have the chance to see them live.
Fuck them Europeans. As long as America is blessed by them, I don't care, bitch.
Trump stopped that. I don't want to talk about your foreign policies again. I just think it's hard in the future to create a good set list. You have stuff like Animal Spirits and Deantown, which they kind of have to play, but now they have come to a point where they can't really fit old classic instrumental songs in it because there are so many new albums already to choose from. That makes me a bit sad. Just think about the legendary Tonic Room sets with improv and the classic lineup. I sure miss those days.
Yeah, Barack, I think you got to stop whining. This album was decent, but it still doesn't sound as organic and raw as the earlier stuff, even though Sauna and RDS slap. Some of the vocal tracks could have easily been swapped with instrumental stuff to me. It's just a bit much, and I don't really like In Heaven and Miracle that much. Nice Groove Spoon recycle. I actually really like that, also considering it actually is pretty damn old now.
Just like you old...
Donald, shut the fuck up. The Bob Dylan cover is pretty fire, to be honest, but this also just doesn't feel as fulfilling and well-made as Toda or TBG. I'd say B tier.
Yeah, I guess it's B tier. I got to say I wasn't as hyped about it as with the other stuff, but it's definitely better than The Joy of Music and feels way more classic. Also, the whole sauna and Wim Hof stuff fits them pretty well. I like the vibe of it.
All right, I guess we did it again, fellas. Queen album tier list next week, same time.
I thought she died last year.
Fucking hell, Joe. I don't know if I can do this any longer. See you next week, idiots.